Cloaked in mystery, the Mossad is commonly regarded as one of the world's greatest intelligence services. Mossad is one of the key departments in the Israeli intelligence community, along with Aman, military intelligence, and Shin Bet, which is an internal security agency. Mossad has carried out some of the Israeli Secret Service's most important missions that have changed Israel and the world at large. Watch the video till the end as we tell you tales of the almost impossible missions Mossad successfully carried out. Arch-Nazi Adolf Eichmann. During World War II, Adolf Eichmann was a high-ranking Nazi official who assisted Germany in the mass slaughter of 6 million Jews. Despite the fact that many of the Holocaust architects were apprehended, prosecuted at Nuremberg, and executed after the war, Eichmann escaped justice. He continuously escaped justice, even after being caught by Americans as the war ended. He changed his identity several times as he moved throughout post-war Europe. He was aided by pro-Nazi Catholic priests and bishops in Italy who helped him escape to Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1950. Rumors of Eichmann's whereabouts in Argentina spread throughout the US, Europe, and Israel. Despite receiving this information on Eichmann from both West German and American intelligence services, no action was taken. The only one trying was the Israeli agency Mossad, who had been trying to get their hands on Eichmann for a long time. Then came the day when they actually succeeded. Argentina was celebrating the 150th anniversary of its revolution against Spain in May 1960, and many tourists from across the world were flocking to the country to take part in the festivities. The Mossad took advantage of this chance to smuggle spies into Argentina. Knowing Argentina was unlikely to extradite Eichmann for prosecution, Israel opted to kidnap him and bring him to Israel illegally. Mossad operatives swooped on San Garibaldi Street on May 11, 1960, and kidnapped Eichmann as he walked from the bus to his home. His family contacted local hospitals, but not the authorities, which meant Argentine authorities were completely unaware of the incident. On May 20th, a drugged Eichmann was flown out of Argentina under the pretext of an Israeli airline worker who had been in an accident and suffered head injuries. Eichmann was now in Israeli custody. The capture of Eichmann was nothing short of a miraculous effort by Mossad, and it felt like something straight out of a spy action movie. Eichmann's questioning and trial were also part of one of history's most daring covert operations. The trial that followed was one of the first to be broadcast in its entirety on television. It captivated millions with its passionate testimony and first-hand accounts of the Holocaust. At the trial, Eichmann maintained the same deceptively normal demeanor he had in Argentina, portraying himself as a humble bureaucrat who just carried out orders. Eichmann was found guilty by a special tribunal while insisting throughout the trial that he was not responsible for the Holocaust. Consequently, the tyrant was hanged on May 31, 1962. Syrian nuclear reactor saga. Operation Outside the Box, also known as Operation Orchard, was an Israeli airstrike on a suspected nuclear reactor known as the Al-Kibar site in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province on September 6, 2007. The operation began in 2001 when Mossad was profiling Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, who had just been elected. The president received numerous visits by North Korean dignitaries, with a focus on advanced weaponry transfers. Israel's military intelligence agency, Aman, put out an alert to Mossad that these deals were about nuclear weapons, but the Mossad refuted this claim. Multiple communications between Syria and North Korea were uncovered by US intelligence in 2004, after almost 3 years, and the calls were tracked to a desert area named Al-Kibar. After looking at the site, it was confirmed that Syria was building something nuclear, but it wasn't altogether clear. After 2 years of continuous agency work, an unnamed source informed the agency in December 2006 that a key Syrian official, IBRAHIM, had arrived in London under a fictitious name. The Mossad had discovered the officials' reservations in a London hotel and instantly deployed at least 10 undercover agents to the city. 3 groups of agents were formed. A team was dispatched to Heathrow Airport to identify the official upon his arrival. Another kept an eye on him in the hotel, and a third kept an eye on his activities and visits. These groups included specialized agents that were brilliant in breaking into residences, embassies, and hotel rooms to plant bugging devices. During his first day, Ibrahim went to visit the Syrian embassy, and that was when the operatives broke into his hotel room and discovered his laptop. Mossad was able to control his computer activities when the operatives implanted a bug in his laptop. Mossad officials discovered designs and hundreds of photos of the Kibar plant at various stages of construction. Chon Chibu, a North Korean nuclear official, was also photographed with Ibrahim Othman, who was the director of Syria's Atomic Energy Organization. After finding so much evidence, the Mossad cancelled their original plan to kill Ibrahim in London and chose to spare his life. Ehud Olmert, the then Israeli Prime Minister, was notified on the progress, and he appointed a 3-member commission to report on Syria's nuclear development the following month. The CIA was also notified, and the American intelligence community started the search for more details. 6 months later, one of the panel's members, Brigadier General Yakov Amidrol, warned Olmert that Syria was working on a nuclear plant with the help of North Korea and Iran. Despite considerable worries about Syrian reprisal, Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert opted to destroy the nuclear base to prevent Syria from developing nuclear weapons. The attack on Syria attracted no worldwide criticism, much to their surprise. One of the key reasons for that was the fact that Israel kept a strict silence about the strike, while Syria covered up its actions at the site and refused to fully cooperate with the IAEA. After 7 months of secrecy, the White House and the Central Intelligence Agency admitted that American intelligence had also indicated that the location was a nuclear plant with a military purpose. Despite Syria's denials, a 2009 examination by the International Atomic Energy Agency found uranium and graphite and concluded that the facility had traits resembling an undeclared nuclear reactor. Even then, Syria denied the claims. 4 years later, during the Syrian civil war, the International Atomic Energy Agency officially announced that the facility was a nuclear reactor. These attacks were not acknowledged by Israel until 2018. The assassination of arch-terrorist Imad Munir. Imad Munir, who was Hezbollah's international operations chief, had been linked to some of Hezbollah's most spectacular terrorist assaults over the years, including those against the US Embassy in Beirut and the Israeli Embassy in Argentina. His time came to an end on February 12, 2008, when he was walking down a calm Damascus street after supper at a local restaurant. He did not know that a team of CIA spotters was watching his activities from a safe distance. The CIA operatives had a bomb concealed in a spare tire on the rear of a parked SUV. The SUV exploded the moment Munir approached it, delivering a burst of shrapnel across a tight radius, which instantly killed Imad. The bomb was activated remotely from Tel Aviv by Mossad agents in communication with the Damascus operators on the ground. This unusually close coordination between US and Israeli intelligence organizations hinted at how important the target was. The US has never admitted to being involved in the assassination of Munir, which Hezbollah blamed on Israel. Till today, there has been little information about the CIA and Mossad's coordinated plot to assassinate him, how the car bombing was planned, or the actual participation of the United States. However, with the exception of Osama bin Laden's assassination in 2011, this mission was one of the most high-risk covert operations carried out by any secret agency in recent years, hitting Iran's nuclear program. In the early 2000s, Iran was actively pursuing the development of its nuclear arsenal. This was not acceptable to the world's major powers in any way. So, in order to avoid a military strike against Iran's nuclear program, the Mossad allegedly assassinated a number of Iranian scientists both before and after 2010. Mossad and other foreign intelligence services were also involved in intercepting and damaging commercial equipment sold to Iran by Siemens, which harmed Iran's nuclear program. However, the computer virus Stuxnet was the most ambitious and cutting-edge purportedly combined Mossad and CIA operation against Iran's nuclear program. Many consider this computer virus to be the most dramatic cyber attack of all time, as it destroyed Iranian nuclear centrifuges in strikes in 2009 and 2010. The Stuxnet malware infiltrated and attacked over 15 Iranian facilities. The virus is thought to have destroyed roughly 1,000 centrifuges, or around a fifth of Iran's total at the time. The killing of drone expert in Tunisia. Mohammed Zawahri was the leader, engineer and pilot of the Qassam Brigades, which was building drones for Hamas in Tunisia. Zawahri, who was gunned down by Mossad operatives near the city of Sfax on December 15, 2016, had been a member of the organization for 10 years and was considered one of the most important members of the Hamas group. Although Mossad and the Israeli government refused to take responsibility for the attack, Hamas blamed them but was not able to provide any evidence to back up their claim, and no one was ever caught in connection with Zawahri's murder. The assassination of Al-Batsch. In 2018, two motorcycles gunned down Fadi Mohammed Al-Batsch as he walked to dawn prayers in Kuala Lumpur. Al-Batsch was a Gaza-born electrical engineer and an important Hamas member. After his death, Al-Batsch's family instantly blamed the Mossad and Israel for his killing. At the time, Israel's defense minister put forward a statement and denied Israel's involvement in the death, but did admit that Al-Batsch was involved in the development of Hamas's missile weapons. Some months later, the Hamas group arrested a Gaza Palestinian who accepted that he collaborated with Israel's Mossad agency in the assassination of the Hamas weapons expert in Malaysia. That's it from today's video. We hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, show some love and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on any of the amazing videos we have in store for you.